Hi, I'm Mark Wybrow and this is the Electronic Cafe, the channel for the lovers of electronic music.
Hello, and I'm Andy McNabb. So let's get started. So welcome to this, our second Rising Star special episode where Mark and I look at some great new bands we think you should know about. This particular episode, we're looking at the fantastic National Milk Bar. They were brought to our attention by one of our subscribers on our Facebook channel, and we checked them out and just thought, wow, they're great. Chuz and Sash turned out to be two of the nicest people we've met. Absolutely brilliant. Great music, really good album. Villains in My Head is just a great debut album. So we just had to get them on the show. We want you to know more about them and their music. So sit back and enjoy our chat that we had with the wonderful National Milk Bar. Enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I mean, I used to have a lot of the old vintage Sims, and I've still got a few, but I mean, I sold them. But let's not go there.
I can feel that. I still feel the hurt from you, Mark. Welcome everyone to another Rising Stars interview on the Electronic Cafe. Someone in our Facebook community posted about these guys we've got on today. As usual, I had to go and check the bands out, and I absolutely fell in love with these guys and thought we've got to get them on. So I want you guys to meet Shaz and Chuz, who together are National Milk Bar. Welcome to the Electronic Cafe, both of you. It's great to have you here.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
And first of all, can I say congrats on a stunning album? Great piece of work. You've got to be very pleased with this.
Yes, yeah, we are. Yeah, it's kind of taken us by surprise, really.
What the reaction you've got, is that what?
The reaction has been amazing. And
it's by the way.
It just started off in lockdown. We decided I can't play guitar, I can't play bass or drums or like that. What am I going to do? And so I decided, right, I'm going to do what I've always wanted to do and give electronic music a bit of a crack, and stuff. I had a bunch of songs that could have gone, in different directions in different projects. But, that was the basis. It was I think I did a song called 10 Ton Truck first. And that seemed to come out really well, a lot better than I expected it was going to be. Because I've always, I'm very passionate about electronic music anyway, since I was a kid.
Yeah,
I was always kind of a little bit sort of put off doing it because the bands that I really liked had such good production and stuff, with it, and then you just got these little crappy keyboards at home that and I just couldn't get it to sound any good. So the old stuff, I just couldn't join an ordinary band.
Mate, you've done a good job on it. And what I personally like about it is there's a real texture, from the real sort of Yazoo type synth stuff. My favourite track now is by the way is Mary Magdalene. Absolutely.
Oh, is it really?
But then you've got that lovely track like Brittle, which it's not just a synth track. It's a very textured album, which I think makes it so listenable.
Right. Yeah. Because I think most of the songs really have been written around, a piano or something like that, So that's kind of, so it's always, the song is what's paramount, I suppose. That's what's the most important. Yeah. And then just work it out from there, really.
Yeah, but mate, I know you said you don't play guitar, so if I could play a keyboard as well as you can, I wouldn't be bothered anyway. I think I've seen some of the stuff you're playing. I've got some of your videos. I can't remember what the event was, but Chas was doing the vocals and you were doing the piano. It's just you two with the piano, and it's amazing. I was blown away by your keyboard.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Get this feeling, I'm in motion, a sudden sense of liberty. I don't care 'cause I'm not there. I don't care if I'm here tomorrow. Again and again I've taken too much of the things that cost you too much. I used to think that the day would never come. I'd see the
Because you're also playing a ska band, don't you? And this going into this electronic field was like you just explained, something new to you that you could do during lockdown. You said you've always liked electronic music. I mean, what was like really the catalyst for you to want to do that? Was it the fact that you had time on your hands and you was going to do it, or have you always?
Yeah, it really was. Because Sash wasn't on the scene at the time with it. We're both in the same band, and I just wanted to give it a go because it's a sort of lifelong wish that to do something like that.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity to try it, and then and just put something out. We're both in a ska band called Cartoon Violence, and we just thought like, oh shit, I'm going to put this, tentatively put it out and under the radar a little bit, just but without them knowing about it. The ska scene or whatever, because they just like hate it But they've kind of, they've been like really into it. It's surprising how much music just kind of like weaves through. Because there's so many people that say, oh yeah, I used to love the electronic stuff that back in the 80s and stuff. And like I was the same. I was like into Madness and Specials and all the rest of it. But at the same time, then when all the sort of like the electronic stuff started coming out,
you're right, mate.
that was pulling me into that direction, and there was nobody around that time in rural mid Wales that was on my sort of wavelength. Everyone was into Led Zeppelin or AC/DC or whatever. I kind of I just left it really. With that just to myself. It was like my sort of guilty pleasure sort of thing. And just finally embrace it after all these years has been like a little bit sort of like whoa, quite emotional, really, because it's something that's dear to my heart, and having the chance to do it, and the fact that people really enjoy it as well, really like it. It's like whoa, it's mind blowing, really.
Yeah, you're getting lots of airplay. I've noticed loads of posts at different radio stations around the world. So
yeah, I know it's good. Yeah, I mean, it's all it's just a little thing that we just done ourselves, and it's just like that. So I feel quite proud about it, really.
Yeah, we've been totally blown away about. By and where it's getting played and by the amount of different people, it's we've literally just been completely gobsmacked. It seems like every day there's something to share. We're getting played on this place, so it's amazing.
You made a really interesting point earlier, Chaz, about being in a ska band, how people can respond to it. But I think if it's good music, it doesn't matter what the genre is, right? If it's good music, it's good music. I mean, although we are called the Electronic Cafe, for me, it's about, and for Mark, it's really great music. I mean, my number one album of the year last year was Lost Horizons, Simon Raymonde's project. I don't think it's a synth on it; it's all guitars and
sure,
so well written. It just you get emotional connection like I did with
this. Totally.
I heard this, it had a connection. So
that's great. Just we're still getting used to that. All this praise, we're not used to that. It's great. It's like wow, are they lying?
Still take blame, but if it's all the same, I'll claim it's America, all of America. Will you find what you don't know? Kick back and take it slow. You can call yourself Captain America, so look after yourself. Take care of your health. Don't be like me.
No, mate, your band name is it's certainly not forgettable. What inspired the National Milk Bar name?
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of like it's like a North Wales thing. It's a chain of cafes, sort of like especially around the 70s or 80s. Yeah, sort of like around our area and a bit more slightly north. And it's where everybody used to like sort of go, you know, like at school times, so, you know, on breaks and, you know, to hang out and things. And it's just not, they've dwindled now. There's hardly any. I think there's maybe one left somewhere. Or
Somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, that was just it, really. Just a little, and I just thought, sounds like a good name. Let's just.
It does, because it works, because it's very quirky and you're not going to forget it. So, you know.
Yeah. It's just that a lot of people around areas, like, why are you calling yourselves, you know, National Milk Bar after the bloody cafe?
Whereas Bono's named after a music shop, isn't he? So
Yeah. Oh, is it? All right.
there's a shop in Dublin called Bono Vox, and I think he
Is that what it is?
took his name from that.
Okay.
So,
I hadn't heard that.
He's
So,
done
yeah.
all right, hasn't he?
so I mean, you mentioned that you grew up on Specials and Madness, and we're older than you, but I mean, there was certainly, we was around when Madness and Specials first came around in the early 80s, and there was a lot of good music around in at that time. Electronic wise, what was your sweet spot? What do you like?
Well, I'm probably, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 51.
So we're older than you.
So
I'm 57.
Are you? Well, you're looking very good on it.
I'm
Then I'm
69.
69.
It's a really good filter I've got here.
Yeah, it is a bit of editing, and I'm 60 this year.
Okay.
So we are older than you.
Yeah, right. Okay. Oh, fair enough then.
I certainly remember the Specials and Madness. I mean, at the time, I've always been into electronic music. And I think when I was at 16, 17, at that age, I was a bit snobby about, unless it had a synthesizer, like it was rubbish. But then, like as I've got older and years gone by, you had the Pleas, you had the Smiths, and there was loads of great music about that didn't necessarily. There wasn't electronic music per se. It's always hard when people say to like what was your influences, or people ask who you sound like. I mean, people say to us with our band, who do you sound like? And it was always a difficult one to kind of pigeonhole, like, who you sound like. But I can hear, it's probably a bit unfair, but it's not really, because it's a quality band. But I can hear a lot of Yazoo in the arrangements of your songs there, the way the songs are structured. Well, there's a song, the song Floodgates really reminds me of the Yazoo song Tuesday. Is it called Tuesday? Which not the vocals are different, but just the way it rolls and stuff. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean, you've got a track on your album. I sometimes wish I was Vince as well. So I'm guessing Depeche Mode or Yazoo did play.
Definitely. I sort of dabbled in electronic music in the early 80s when I was like, 11, 12, whatever, 81, 82, 83. But I was into Adam the Ants and all that kind of stuff as well. There was certain stuff, but it was Blasphemous Rumours on Top the Pops that sort of like it was like the defining moment for me. It was like, wow, what is this? I hadn't heard anything like it at the time. They just smashing bits of concrete and things on Top the Pops, and bike wheels with and stuff. So that was it. That was the defining moment for me. It was like, that was, hang on, this is something special. So so Depeche Mode have been like, a major influence on me, on my music.
And two very good covers on your album. The New Order one, which I love, and Roxy.
It's all entwined again, isn't it? Really, that kind of stuff. Everybody's into electronic music. They got a sort of a certain age, perhaps anyway. They're into Roxy music as well. The whole sort of Brian Eno thing, and New Order again. A big sort of childhood sort of thing.
True Faith cover is excellent, I think. I mean,
it is.
It's really nice, stripped down, great vocal. It's just, it's just a really nice version of that song, like totally different to the, very electro version that everyone's used to.
I had some friends around a few weeks ago actually playing and people are going, I know this song, what is it? This is really nice, but God, and it really took them a while to grab the song because it just didn't sound. It sounds so different to the original. But I thought that's a great way to do a cover, right? You don't want it to sound too much like original, otherwise, what's the point? So you're into
no, true, right. Yeah. I think Sash is, go on.
It's a bloody hard one to sing. Like,
you did a great job.
It's unbelievable. You think it sounds really, it sounds nice and simple and quite slow and that, but you actually, it takes so much breath.
Yeah, it's quite wordy, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. But no, it's nice. It's a nice one. It's a nice one to play. We've had a lot of really nice compliments from that from a lot of people saying similar things like that it's they really like the original, but this is so different. But it's just good. I
thought it was really funny. Was a couple of, I know this bloody song. What is it? It finally dropped, but it took them a while, which I thought was a great thing to see. And Chaz, you've been obviously so much younger than all of us. What about? I mean, any musical influences from you sort of later on, or have you gone back that far to look at some of the stuff that influenced Chaz, or
I mean, both my mum and dad had very different musical tastes. So mum was full on, is very full on 80s pop, anything really sort of 80s. And then dad is very much anything that has what he would deem as sort of real band, so guitars and all that kind of stuff. So I was brought up on a huge different range of stuff. But like Specials, Madness, all that kind of thing. Yazoo was always being played in the house, so there was a big cross section, and then you're going into sort of dad's side of things with like Dire Straits and Prince and stuff like that. So huge sort of cross section. But I think it served me well. I do pretty well at Popmaster. So
no one beats Sash in the Popmaster in the band, that's for sure.
And you've got a very distinct voice. Did you? Is that being trained? Or that's just all natural? You never had a singing lesson in your life, or have you had singing lessons? Because I love your voice. It's got a real. It's just very real. It's got a lovely tone to it.
Oh, thank you. It's I've never. It's what I started singing. I think it was a drunk night with one of the first bands I was in. And a friend of mine was like, we should do something, we should record some tracks and you should sing. Yeah, I'll do that. And then you wake up in the morning and you go, why did I do that? I haven't got the confidence to do that. And it just kind of spiraled from there really. And then I do backing vocals and a few tracks in Cutting Violence. And then this obviously. So I'd never been anything, never had any lessons or out, but
you sound great. And I said earlier, when I watched one of the videos of your Cartoon Violence, because I was just doing research, I saw you play the sax as well, right?
I mean, play,
one of my favourite.
I have a little toot. No, it's great fun. That's I feel quite comfortable behind that because it's not so I don't feel so exposed, I guess is the thing. But it's good fun. It's good fun in the ska band, obviously.
Yeah.
I think we could probably cross it over.
I was going to say, any sax coming into the NMB camp?
There was. We put a tiny bit on the cover of
the Roxy one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's literally just a couple of toots, but I mean, we're not close to that idea at all.
No, bring it on, I say.
Yeah, it sounds
Psychedelic Furs always used a lot of sax, and obviously Spandau Ballet used sax. Yeah. Rio's got sax in it, so
exactly. Yeah,
polish off your sax.
Oh, the oyster.
Apparently, you're much better than me. No equality, just hollow. You can't shake it, you just take it. Sit on the fence, can't decide what's the best side. You might make it if you fake it. Enjoy the ride before you stop.
So what is your songwriting process? Do you sit down and write together, or Chuz, do you do the music and then Sash puts the words to it? I mean, how does it work, or is it different every time?
Yeah, it's kind of for this album, at least, mostly it's been my ideas first. Getting the music put together at home. Everything's just been at home. It's all done on Logic, and but I'm sort of crazy on collecting, well, not collecting, but like purchasing synths and stuff, and then I'll put a bit of them on, then sell it on, and buy something else, and build up atmospheres like that and whatever. But yeah, so it's mostly been, a lot of the songs are written on a piano to begin with, so we know then that there is a song there, worth working on, and then we can just build it up from there. It's not always the case, but like usually, like something like Energy was like, comes from a bass line on the Pro 3, and just went from there. But then there are songs then that towards, the last few songs that were written, I kind of thought, Sash, you have a go at writing the songs, writing the lyrics. So
yeah, that's been interesting. But it's you're definitely music side, but I think we're both quite flexible and open with like, I quite like that idea, or it would be good if we could have a bit of this here or something like that. So it's right. It's all a really flexible process and varies each time.
It just makes it interesting, then, doesn't it? Having somebody else write the lyrics, so that isn't really involved in the music side of it, and just make see where it goes from there. Really.
Do you predominantly use software synths, or apart from the bits that you said that you
exactly what I was going to ask?
So I'll use the sequential stuff is just amazing. There's a load of that on there. Mostly the OB6 here is the baby. That's kind of like the riff of Dressed in Leather and stuff. But I put as much analog stuff in as I can. Not so much vintage stuff, because I haven't really got much of that, and it's a little bit hard to keep maintain the vintage stuff, and like if you want a lot of textures and different stuff, so I tend to buy stuff that's safer, really, to that's not gonna.
You can get software copies of like everything now, can't you? You can get
I use V Collection, is the Arteria stuff is there's quite a bit on that, especially the sequence stuff and that, because I find it so much easier to sequence stuff on the software. But a lot of the riffs and that kind of thing, it's usually OB6 or Prophet X or something like that. It's I've been through a few of them on this album.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. I mean, I used to have a lot of the old vintage synths, and I've still got a few, but I mean, I sold them. But let's not go there.
I can feel that. I still feel the hurt from you, Mark.
Well, when digital, I've said this before, when digital came out, you literally couldn't give away your analog stuff, and digital was the thing. And I got rid of some Korgs and Roland SH101, Roland Juno 60, like all the stuff I just traded for these digital stuff, and the first digital synths, like the DX7s, I think they're crap. Like they were the thing at the time, but unless you're Brian Eno and you were stripping it down and actually getting these sounds out of it, I just had about 10 banks of like a doorbell. It's just like a horrible sounding tip. And then when I got to a point I thought I'll rebuy all the synths I used to have. The prices were just like ridiculous. So
a friend of mine, my next door neighbour back years ago, he had a Mini Moog, and I said, I just loved the sound that you could get out of it. And then I went round there one day and said, where is it? And he said, I sold it. You sold what? To who? For how much? It was like, I sold it to the local the music shop for 150 quid or something like that. It's like, how much are they worth now?
Oh, I mean, I saw a Jupiter 8, original Jupiter 8 on eBay the other week, $30,000.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Ridiculous. But anyway, I mean, it's so much easier
to have all that stuff. But obviously it's just you need a big bank balance to keep all that sort of stuff going. It's maintaining it and stuff as well, isn't it? I guess.
Well, they go flat, don't they? And it's keeping maintained and stuff. And you need need a big house for a lot of space to keep all in.
Yeah.
Most of us got rid of our vinyl, right? and I've gone back full circle. I'm second time in. It's his fault.
Yeah.
I got rid of all mine in the 80s, my vinyl. Why? Then Mark and I went to see Stephen Wilson at the Albert Hall, who I absolutely love. And he very kindly bought me a signed copy of the vinyl. I just looked at him. I loved him, but I hated him at the same time because I'm all in or nothing. And now I've pretty much filled this whole wall.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I got plenty at home as well. You know, I've got all the Depeche 12 inches and all that sort of stuff, you know, and so, but I haven't got a record player at the moment, so I'm not quite as cool as that yet. I must get one.
I do declare that I best beware of some impending trouble. Appears to me you arrive quickly, can't disappear at the double. Over and over again and again, I blow myself out the rubble. I've been hit by a 10-ton truck, gonna dust off the dirt from my shoulders.
But yeah, you're into vinyl a lot, aren't you, Sash?
You're
much cooler than I am.
I like the sound, and I do have means to play it.
It's always a bonus.
I love the real inconvenience of vinyl.
Yeah.
Innit?
Yeah, the space, the cost, the weight. I just love it all. So.
The one thing I forgot when I got back into it is you sit down, then you got to get up 10 minutes later, turn it over. I forgot about that bit.
Yeah.
But it is brilliant. It is brilliant. And one of the things that Mark and I really want to do the show is obviously promote new bands like yourself. But yeah, you're two musicians. Do you get to hear a lot of new music? And if you do, what's catching your ears right now that you could share with our audience?
That's a good question. So, to be honest, I haven't been listening to anything.
That's
new.
fair enough, mate.
I have not, because I've just been so engrossed in doing this album and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I just quite like the peace and quiet then, and not having to do it. I know that sounds some really shit, but,
it's very honest.
I have not. I've just been like thinking, that's I'll just do this, get this album out of the way.
Yeah.
It's not very influenced by anything new. So, it's quite, there's a nostalgic kind of look at the electronic side of stuff, I know. But that's just what felt right to me at the time. Maybe we'll bring in other elements again, for what we do in the future would be nice,
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm not, I don't know what you, Sash, but I've not been really sort of taking much in, apart from the stuff that you've been, since I joined Electronica Cafe on the Facebook page. It's like that's been a bit of an eye opener, and what you guys have been sharing. So that's good. So I'm definitely going to be influenced by a lot more variety, of electronic music next time.
Stopped, didn't it, when we were creating the album? There was people were doing the same things that we were. They were just off in their own little bubble. Creating their own things, so we're just kind of focused on that really, but now that everything's a bit more open, should be.
How long did the album take you from start to finish?
So I put a couple out myself without Sash, just under sort of my name. So that was, it's probably a couple of years, ago we started those, and then it just felt like, I need, if I got some interest. I thought, well, that's great, but like, I don't really want to front this. I've got a band that I front and stuff, and I just like the idea of, like looking at, the cool sort of like synth duos and things like that from back in the day, and I just thought that'd be great to have, somebody on it. And Sash was the obvious choice because he's got a great voice. She's, younger and better looking than me. So it seemed like an obvious choice, really. And we get on so well together anyway, so, and, we don't take anything too seriously, and we just have a laugh with it. And, I think that is key to it, really.
Yeah, it's the right approach.
And that's why we're going to, continue, because like we just enjoy each other's company, and, and why wouldn't we, so.
Exactly.
So what's the plans for the second album? Will it be along the same lines, or do you think you're going to change the sound slightly, or?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I haven't written any songs for it yet. So I guess once, a few trickle through, then, but I think, we're going to bring in like the sax. We'll need to do that.
Nice.
And we'll see where it goes. Maybe, well, I quite like the idea of going a bit darker and not so poppy.
Yeah.
But but hey, who knows? It might be totally different. It'll end up being like a really.
You'll go the blasphemous rumours route.
Yeah, maybe, yes. Yeah, I'll start getting the concrete slabs out with a sledgehammer and.
Don't spell me out like that. Don't spell me out like that. Sticking to the formula you've been using ever since. Don't spell me out like that. Don't spell me out like that. You will deal with a handshake. Best decision you could make. You got me on the move. You got me chasing high.
So what would your desert island disc be if you was stranded somewhere? I mean, what's your go-to record that you repeat and repeat forever?
Oh God.
It doesn't have to be just one. We normally.
I'm going to have to say a Depeche Mode song. I guess it'll have to be something like "Stripped" or something like that. I guess. But it's, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's stuff like the melodic stuff that the melodies that Martin Gore does. Like there's sort of like stuff on "Here Is the House," that kind of stuff. And I love that kind of stuff that he does, and then the slightly more quirky things he does. I'm really into that kind of idea. So yeah, maybe let's say "Stripped."
What about you, Shaz?
I always end up going back to, it's like obviously a bit later than your era, but it's I always end up going back to Enter Shikari. That's like, because they've got such a wide, they cover such a wide group of genres that you get literally you get so many different things on one album. So yeah, that would be mine. Would always gravitate back to anything in their back catalogue.
I love this one. If you table for four for National Milk Bar, who would you love to sit at the table and have dinner with? Apart from me and Mark, obviously.
Obviously.
Oh damn, that's what I was going to say.
I think for me, I think somebody like Prince would definitely be on my list, just because like my mum and dad's influence from when I was younger, and I mean he was just such an amazing, literally pick anything up and create an album all by himself. So I think that would be
amazing.
Yeah, that would definitely be one for me, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd get Alan Wilder and Andrew Fletcher, and then plough them with drinks and see who would win in the fight. I don't know whether I should say that. Otherwise I don't know.
That's super. I mean, that's a pretty good table. But yeah, for me, I'll be with you on Prince all day, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Eric Clapton made that famous comment when he was asked in that interview, "What's it like being the world's greatest guitarist?" And Clapton turned around and said, "I don't know. You better ask Prince."
Prince,
I hear that.
Yeah.
It's an amazing. You're right in terms of talent. I mean, you're right. He's on another stratosphere, wasn't he?
I think I didn't see him. I was not fortunate enough, but my mum and dad went to watch him in Wembley. I don't know what tour it was, but my mum was 8 months pregnant with me, so I'm taking that as a kind of.
You were there.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Early influence.
Yeah, exactly.
You big Bowie fans as well, or
yes?
How can you not be?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Another amazing creative human that's mind blowing.
the coolest man that ever lived for me. Just absolutely.
Yeah. There's and the style he's done. All the different genres he's dabbled in as well, and done it so excellently.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Hunky Dory's always been like a songwriting perspective. It's been a fantastic album from start to finish.
Yeah, I saw him once live, but it was at Wembley Stadium before they had big video screens, and I was right at the back watching. It's that glass spiders tour, so it's heavily choreographed.
Yeah.
But from 500, 600 feet away, you can't really see anything. So I was so disappointed. Yeah, one of my favourites up there with Prince. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think I saw him at the Milton Keynes Bowl with Serious Moonlight tour.
Did you? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's still hard to believe he's not around, actually.
His last album was just absolutely just a work of art, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, completely off kilter to a lot of the stuff he's been doing, and
I still find it hard to listen to it though. I mean, I've got it, but because you know the story that goes with it.
Yes,
and you know, to be fair, there's always been songs in Bowie's catalogue about being in heaven or with the stars or looking down at people, Starman, Life on Mars. He's always had that. But when you listen to the last album and you think the guy was dying, and it perhaps takes on a different kind of thing.
Totally.
I don't dislike it, but I just find it really hard. It makes me sad listening to it.
It's not an emotional roller coaster, isn't it?
So it's not one of those albums that I go to, sadly. But brilliant body of work.
3-minute hero and rat race have lost their place. They don't even pass the time. Well, tell me why I don't like Mondays or any other day. Since you broke this heart of mine, boy, brittle. Please care a little, tongue-tied. Please hear what's inside. Listen to me.
Well, guys, thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Well, thanks for having us. It's like, it's absolute pleasure. And thanks very much for, I'm glad you enjoyed the album. So, things like that just pushes us over.
I mean, the album's great. I think Andy's disappointed that there's no vinyl copy of it. But
I was going to be my last question.
I know, yeah. We need
any chance.
I know. Yes, it's just so bloody expensive, isn't it?
It takes so long as well. I think there's a massive vinyl shortage.
More viewers go and buy it. We'll get it out on vinyl.
It'd be lovely if you did. I think it'd be amazing. I'd love to hear that on my turntable. And Chaz has got something to play it on as well. Come on, mate. No, I know you're right. It is expensive, but if you ever do, let us know, and we'll obviously let everyone know. And also, anything else you're doing in the future, we'll happily promote it and tell everyone about it. Because I think what you guys have brought together is great. And you can see the friendship between you two is amazing. So, long may it continue. And obviously, very good luck. Very good luck, Chaz, with the arrival. Wish you all the best. Wish you all the best of that.
Any moment now.
I was going to say we'll get off in a minute, just in case. but yeah, keep us posted as well on that, and good luck with it. And
we love the album. I think it's got not only is there great electronic music on there, got some great covers on there. Look forward to what you do in the future.
And I look forward to doing some live stuff as well. We really want to have it live when we can. We've dabbled a little bit, and we're just looking forward to just getting out there, because that's where our hearts lie really as well. It's playing live. So
good luck with everything.
Yes.
Thanks very much, guys. It's been
we look forward to hearing the good news. Thanks for giving up your Saturday afternoon. It is Saturday, isn't it? I keep losing track.
Mate, I know. I keep thinking it's Sunday because I thought yesterday was Saturday because it's bank holiday. It's completely throwing me.
Well, my wife got up yesterday and said, "Oh, you've got the interview today, haven't you?" And I was like, "I don't think so. No, tomorrow." But
I'm here for 24 hours, Chad.
Sash, is it 2? Is it 3? What is it? Tell me now.
But good luck at the hospital, and look forward to hearing your good news. Thanks for sharing your time. Love the album. We'll put this out and put your music all the way through it, and hopefully we can get a few more people hearing your great stuff. So thank you very much.
From us in rural Mid Wales here, it's nice to get some exposure.
Yeah,
in the big.
I think it totally deserves it, because it's one of those great albums that we want people to hear if they haven't heard it. So,
brilliant!
Congratulations, and thanks again, guys. We'll see you again soon, and keep in touch.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Brilliant.
Cheers, guys. Bye. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
It's time for me to disappear before it goes horribly wrong.
That's easy for you to say. You're never here anyway. And the night that you played away, that was the day it was broken. Comfortably numb. I didn't see you drowning. where I succumb. Always falling, always falling. Don't try to lead me there, I'll find my own way. Hey Mary Magdalene, they're calling it trafficking. Hey Mary Magdalene walks the streets. Hey Mary Magdalene, hear my plea. Wipe these tears away from me.
So that's it for this particular Rising Stars episode of the Electronic Cafe. I hope you enjoyed our chat and enjoyed the music that Mark's brilliantly edited throughout this episode of National Milk Bar. We're looking out for some great new bands to bring to you in other Rising Star specials, plus all our normal fantastic looks at legends of the industry, hot stuff music, and trying to get some big names onto the Electronic Cafe, like Wolfgang that we did recently as well. So stay tuned, keep watching Electronic Cafe. If you haven't subscribed, press that subscribe button. If you want to make your ears really happy and listen to the best new music around, this is the place to find it and hear it. Okay, take care. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks for watching the Electronic Cafe, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.